Hello, my name is Mike Moore. Um, my wife Cheryl and I, we have a little mission organization called God's Fire, and we've had this for quite a number of years. And I just want to give a short devotional to you today, and I hope it inspires you, and I hope you will draw close to Jesus, because that's my purpose for doing this. We all think that our walk with God has to go the same way. But I want to tell you that each person is different. Each person is an individual, and God uses us and touches us in a very different way. I grew up in Germany, as you can tell by my accent. I'm trying to lose my accent, but I think I may not lose it, unfortunately. But anyway, I grew up in Germany right after the war, Second World War. And I remember all the cities were destroyed. There was hardly no house that was standing anymore. And my parents and my grandparents lived actually in a one-room apartment place. But they were happy to have that even. My search for God has always been there. But my parents never went to church. My grandfather, who served in the Second World War, he was deeply wounded in France, and he had he said, if there is a God, this Second World War wouldn't have happened. It's a common excuse people give. You know, you blame God for everything bad, but you don't follow his steps, and then you can blame God. My grandmother, she was a very loving woman, as was my grandfather, by the way. My grandfather really loved me, and my grandmother was a woman who was interested in the supernatural, but in the wrong path. She had people come over and prophesy things about her life, and but Christian walk or the Christian talk was never an issue in our life. As a matter of fact, we never went to church, and if I can remember correctly, we never even had a Bible. So God and all that didn't seem at all an issue for us. Now there's a verse in the Bible that says this, it's in Jeremiah: if you seek me, God is speaking, if you seek me with all of your heart and all of your soul, with your mind and your heart, you will find me if you seek me. And I believe this is true, regardless who we are, where we come from, what country we come from, or who we are, because God sees us as individuals, and he wants to reach out to us. So maybe you have been a Christian for many years, or maybe you're not. I want to tell you that God cares for you, and he accepts your individuality, and that's a wonderful thing, because he wants to love you. My walk with him was that I'll give you a little incident that happened to me. Now, I did pray to God, but I don't know who God was. Was he a Muslim God, or was he a Hindu God? I believe there must be some kind of a power, but I didn't know who that power was, since we never did go to church. And I remember once, twice a year, we had a carnival in our town in spring and in the fall. And what you do is you can buy some little tokens, yeah. And if you're really, really lucky, you can win something. And I won something. I had a choice of anything that I wanted. I could have picked it up. And I always wanted to watch, because my parents didn't have enough money to buy me a watch. And I was so proud of my watch. And I put it on, and I remember I walked in the neighborhood, and I asked people, what time is it? And if they said, let's see, 10 past 12, then I would look at my watch and say, no, you're 2 minutes fast. Or, hey, you're slow, 5 minutes. Some people laughed, but some kind of gave me this thought, this is a weird kid or something. But anyway, it was a strange thing that when I came home, my watch every day was 3 minutes slow. Every day. It was a new watch, probably a cheap watch. Every day was 3 minutes slow, and it really bothered me. How could that happen? I was so proud of my watch. And I remember I prayed for it. I know for some of you that seems silly, but that's just how it was. And I prayed to God and I said, God, my watch goes slow 3 minutes. Can you fix it? Now, I'm not making this story up. This is a true story. From that time on, my watch was correct. And I'm not saying that you should do that. I just want to tell you that God is a personal God who cares about each one of us. He cares about you and He cares about me because He is a loving God. This Bible verse that I mentioned before, which says, if you seek God with all of your heart and all of your soul, you will find Him, is not just a nice theoretical verse, it is a true verse. Now, in order for me to believe in God, I had two conditions. Sounds a little funny to say conditions, but at that time I thought that was important to me. Condition number one was this, that that I could speak to God. If He's alive, I wanted to speak to Him. Well, I can't speak to a tree, or I can speak to a stone, but that tree or that stone won't talk back to me, obviously. So my second condition was, if there is a God and if He's living, He will talk to me. I just believed that. I didn't go to church, but I figured if there's a living God, He will talk back. And that's how I grew up. I didn't have any theology. It's probably good this way, maybe too here, that I didn't have it. And sometimes we think we need to know a lot about God. But I remember when I was in India and I saw in very, very poor areas where people could not read or write. And I remember talking to a lady who was catching fish, and she had a very slow, a wonderful spirit, very quiet, and she had tears in her eyes. And she told me how she met Jesus in a boat and how they went fishing together. Sounds crazy to Westerners, I know that, but I believed her. And it was a wonderful reminder to me that Jesus wants to have a personal relationship. It doesn't have to be like mine. God knows you best, how He's going to reach you. But the Bible says, and it's a promise for you and for me, if you seek Him with all of your heart and all of your soul, you will find Him and He'll find you. Thank you.